Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Tuesday, June 2nd. We had a big cool down over the weekend with widespread wetting rains over eastern areas as well as parts of western Nevada and Idaho. We'll see a gradual warming and drying trend this weekend. That'll start picking up fire potential later this week. We do see some possible critical wind events Thursday and Saturday. Fuels still the question mark. We'll be watching that very closely. So the warming and drying continues today, back to near early June normals, which is kind of warm. And we continue warming a little bit on Wednesday. We start seeing the winds increasing a bit across northwestern Nevada, southwest Idaho, and a bit of wind again on Thursday in some of these areas as well. Not much precipitation, lightning starting to move out of the area. But this is what we had over the past 7 days. Quite a bit of precipitation here in the green and eastern areas, as well as western Nevada or northwestern Nevada. A lot of areas got a half inch to 3/4 of an inch of precipitation, and it came with duration, so that does play into the fuels quite a bit. But, the long June days are kicking in now, and lots of small fires starting to pop up again in the red circles. Recent fires from last week before the precipitation in the open yellow circles. We remain in PL2. We had 11 fires for about 93 acres in the last 24 hours. The 3-month flash drought index, the evaporative demand drought index, still showing the most critical areas in the southern and creeping into the central areas of the geographic area. Kind of benign right now over the Idaho mountains. The 10-hour fuels, most critical now across southern and south central areas. We see a lot of readings now in the mid to upper single digits. The ERC point map starting to show some critical levels here in the south. It's a little bit of a different look. We've averaged out the PSAs as well to show what levels they are at, and we start seeing some of these oranges through here. A lot of areas approaching the 90th percentile down there. Some individual stations, and we'll put down the projections over the next 7 days. Southwest Idaho, they had precipitation about a week ago, but they will be drying out considerably, and by the end of the week, they are projected to be getting up towards the 85th percentile, and down in the Dixie National Forest area, getting up above the 90th percentile. So really getting towards critical levels again towards the end of the week. And we have a lot of dry air on the upper level map moving in. Low pressure, which caused our rain over the weekend and late last week, now moving up into southern Canada. We'll have zonal drier air coming in. And the 10 degrees warming over the next couple of days from what we had over the weekend is just a function of the deep cold low moving out. We don't have a big strong high pressure ridge building yet, but lots of dry air building in. You can see our PSAs on the bottom definitely drying out, and we might have some wind issues. We have moderate risk in some of these brown areas through here, and we can see day by day with the humidity and the wind. Look into humidity on Tuesday, drying out into the single digits in a lot of areas, low teens in the north. Same story on Wednesday and Thursday. Winds with it, locally breezy, nothing really super critical. Quite windy in western Wyoming, but the humidity higher there, and they did have some precipitation. But we see more widespread, maybe 15 to 25 mile an hour winds over northwest Nevada on Wednesday, and some stronger winds, maybe 30, 35 miles an hour in southern areas and eastern areas on Thursday. No precipitation expected for us next couple of days, most of it staying to our south and east. So we go into the days 4 through 6. By the end of the week, a deep low pressure approaches the Pacific Northwest. Some gusty winds will be increasing ahead of it. And that's what we'll be watching from Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday. Some of those winds will increase. We see that we continue drying out on the 7-day. We haven't issued high risk yet, but notice the humidity stay bone dry. Starting to see some moderate winds of 20 to 30 miles an hour. Parts of the area on Friday, but it's really Saturday across parts of Nevada and Utah that we start seeing winds possibly approaching 40 miles an hour with very low humidity. If this ends up being more of a certain weather scenario, we may have to issue high risk for some of our southern areas by then. Locally breezy on Sunday with continued low humidity, no precipitation expected. And summing up the 7 days in a nutshell, you see that trend from day 1 through day 7 are definitely drying out across most areas as we go through the period. And looking at the 6 to 10 day outlook, looking at a warmer than normal signal across most areas, especially eastern areas, and a significant drier than normal signal across parts of the western Great Basin and near normal elsewhere. And of course, normal this time of year means really not that much precipitation. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.